Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Nakisha with Fight for Your Future. Well, I'm changing it up a little bit today and hosting my very first episode of Working Women in Business. I have, for that first episode, Kewanta Greer, and she's going to be talking about what she does, how she is moving and shaking in the space, and what she's doing to balance it all. So, welcome, Kewanta. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for taking your time today to be with me, to answer my questions. So I'm just going to grab my pen and paper to take notes. Okay, so who is Kewanta Greer?
Yeah, well, I could definitely answer that. First, I want to say thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on your platform and to, be in front of your audience. So, yeah, I mean, it's a very loaded question. I'm a mom. I'm a Black woman. I'm a Christian. I am a fighter. I'm passionate. I'm a type A. My Myers-Briggs is INFJ. I mean, I can go on and on. So yeah.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So give me a little bit about what you do now for your business and how did you get started in that business? If you have a career where you're working for corporate or if you run your own business, tell me a little bit about that.
So I started as a classroom teacher and I did that for a while. I was teacher of the year. And then I kind of transitioned into being a teacher trainer. So I traveled around a lot and I trained teachers in areas of classroom management, differentiated instruction, science instruction. And I was one of those teachers who asked for forgiveness and not permission. So because I was so good at what I did and my students always excelled, I was oftentimes forgiven for the choices, for the responsible risk taking that I did in the classroom. But after a while, it just wasn't fulfilling for me. I didn't appreciate or particularly like the politics that's within education itself. And so I just took my training and my knowledge and decided to do my own thing, which started with having an educational consulting firm,
Okay.
basically doing what I was doing as a model classroom teacher, but then, applying it to my own business. And then that transitioned into what I'm doing now as the founder and CEO of Elite Kids. And that pivot happened during COVID. Because at
Oh.
that time, teachers were not in the classroom. It didn't make any sense to continue to do that type of work. So I shifted to helping parents and kids who were at home. And that's how Elite Kids were born.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So, Elite Kids, could you tell the audience a little bit about Elite Kids and how are you helping the community with that
It's
business?
had several iterations, but where I am now is Elite Kids is excellence plus education. And it is educational resources, also have home and school supplies infused with excellence. And so for me, I strongly believe, as when I was in the classroom and as a parent, that children need to see themselves in the educational
Mm,
resources that they use, in the clothes that they wear, in the content that they consume. And when I was in the classroom, it was very difficult to find resources that met the unique needs of our children. I taught
mm,
in Third Ward, Houston, and Houston ISD. So it was very difficult. And oftentimes I wouldn't even pick up or use the resources that the district, said that we had to use. I'll make my own stuff because I know
mm,
my baby's better than anybody, right? I know what they need, and this is what they need. And then when I became a mom, I ran into the same issue, not having those things. I mean, let's be real, there are thousands, maybe even more of child content characters
mm.
and channels on YouTube by itself and Netflix, all of these different platforms. Um, but we have very limited resources and content that meet the unique needs of our kids. And so I
Mm.
felt that it was important to fill that gap, and not only just to say here, there is a black face on my t-shirt, but this is a science book where you see this beautiful black boy with a fade and some glasses in a science book helping you learn science as well. So I wanted to be the person to put that out for my students as well as for my children.
Awesome, awesome. You know what? I really appreciate you doing that because I know my baby girl. Grace, she's beginning to pay attention to her hair a lot nowadays. And she has a little t-shirt that has two puffs on her t-shirt. And she's like, Mom, she looks like me. So she's 7. And so yes, definitely I think there is a demand and there's a need for us to have such products. So congratulations on that. And you mentioned that you're a mom.
Yes.
Tell me, how do you balance that with having, a business, having a career? How are you balancing and finding the time to stay sane and to get things done?
Well, first, I want to preface it with this. I've sit on the other end of the camera for years, just gleaning information from different women in the industry, different business owners, period. And the way that they speak to the audience is as if you have a blueprint, right? And if you follow these step-by-step instructions, then you can be where I am. And I'm
Mhm.
just not the type of person. Let me tell you also about Kewanta. I'm type A. I'm extremely organized. I don't like a lot of chaos and clutter in my environment, in my thought life. And so, because I am who I am, I'm able to kind of balance and navigate being a mom as well as having a business. But if you don't have that type of thinking or thought process or personality, you just have to tap into your strengths,
Right.
whatever they are. You may not be type A. You may not be, you got to have things, your ducks in a row. Wherever
Right.
you are in your journey, whoever you are in your personality, figure out who that person is, tap into those strengths, and work it out. Now, I will say it does also help that I have such a supportive village. So
Mm.
my children are very blessed. There are a large group of people who have decided to come together and make sure that these two little black boys don't
Mm.
want nothing, don't need nothing. They're well loved, they're well supported, they're well taken care of. So it's not just me. I have a village of people who also help me. But again, not every woman who's going to see this has that support. So
Right.
whatever you need to do, whatever resources you need to tap into, whether it's community resources, you need to get in the phone book and figure it out. Who can I call? What kind of resources are out there available for me? Tap into those.
Wow. Wow. I'm glad you mentioned that because there are many women who don't have that village that you speak of, and you're blessed. I'll say you're blessed to have that village to help you to be able to maintain that balance as a working woman. So I want to kind of step back one quick second
Okay.
to kind of understand when you made that transition from being in the corporate world, working for the district, the school district. What defining moment made you say, "Hey, I'm done. I'm taking this leap of faith, and starting my own thing"?
Well, it was, I got tired of the testing. I mean, I taught fifth grade, so there's
Mm,
a lot of calendar days where we have to block out just to teach to the test. So I didn't like that. The kids
mhm,
didn't like that. So that's number one. Number two, it's hard being the best because when you are the best, there's a lot of demand. So it's like,
mm.
well, since you are like this, you can handle all of these children. I'm like, even though I
Uh-huh.
can handle them, doesn't mean that I want to
But
handle
you wanted to,
them.
right, right.
So I was like, I gotta get out of here. And then there were just certain things that I wanted personally, as far as financial growth and freedom. I mean, being a teacher, you do have a lot of vacation days. But a lot of those vacation days are also dedicated for professional development. That's a lot of hours and days and weeks.
Right.
It could have been an email. So I was
Right.
like, you know what? Yes, the summers off are great, but the pay is not. This little pay schedule that I'm looking is looking a little slow and steady. I probably won't be able to get out of here until retirement, and
Uh-huh.
that's just not the path that I wanted for myself. And also, I'm a free thinker, so I never
Okay.
thought that I had to follow a traditional route. If it doesn't serve you, you know, you have the means, you have the support. I say get out, do your own thing. And so
Uh,
it was like the perfect storm, all of those things
Okay.
combined, which is what led me to say, okay, this is going to be my last year, and I'm going to transition into doing my own thing.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So as everyone probably know, I'm still, working my 9 to 5 as a chemical engineer and also running my business as Medicare agent, Medicare insurance life agent. So what advice would you give me to take that leap into being that business owner 100% of the time?
Well, you can't do it 100% of the time unless you, I mean, as mothers, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
we take risks, but we take responsible risks. So
Mm,
calculating the cost.
mm,
What does that look like financially? What does that look like regarding, how I organize my day and my time? Am I in a position to, if I step away, will I have, clients pouring in? And once you hit that threshold, then sure, by all means, take the leap of faith. If you're not
mm,
there, whether it's you or a woman who's watching this, if you're not there yet, then do block time. This is
mm.
my type A talking, but open up a spreadsheet, type Sunday through Saturday, put those times on there, block out. This is when I have to work. This is times I have with my children. This is the time, I don't know, I go to church.
Oh
This is the
my
time
God.
for self-care, because that's important
Right,
too, ladies.
right.
Go get your toes done and eat some ice cream. And
I
then
like that.
this is the time where I will dedicate to my business. And then I'll just keep working the schedule day by day, week by week, month by month, until that black block of work time decreases.
Mm,
That side hustle block time increases.
mm, mm. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that practical advice because I know there are so many that are wanting to get out of the rat race, but just not sure how to do it. So I like that blocking some time out where you are having to sacrifice a little of your sleep time to
Mhm.
work on the business. Then
Right.
eventually that business will be your primary
Mhm.
instead of the secondary. So I really, really like that. So, Kiwanta, my final question I have for you is you mentioned Elite Kids.
Yeah.
How do people get in contact with you? Can they buy your products? Where do we go? Do you have a page to visit?
Yeah, absolutely. So the website where you can go buy the products, then we're talking about educational resources, home and school supplies, as well as resources now for teachers and for parents. You go to shopelitekids.com, shopelitekids.com. I'm also here on YouTube, Elite Kids TV. And then you can also find me on TikTok and Instagram at Shop Elite Kids.
Okay, awesome. And I'll be sure to post all of these links in the show notes. But I want to say thank you so much, Kiwanta, for your time and for giving us all of this good advice for being a business owner in this space. And I wish you all the best on in your business ventures. And thank you so much for joining.
You too. I wish you all the best as well. And thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Awesome.